Hey fellow yarn lovers, this is Taylor from Bodhi Life Crochet. Today I wanted to show you Lion Brand's yarn, That 70s yarn. It has a really cool shag look to it. This one is called Stellar and it comes in a few different colors. It calls for a USS crochet hook, which is a 19 millimeter. So I picked one of those up today from Michael's. It's a loops and threads plastic crochet hook. So I'll probably do a little review on that as well since I usually use aluminum. But yeah, let's break this open and see what the swatch looks like. Okay, so here's Lion Brand's new super groovy yarn called That 70s yarn. It is a weight 6, super bulky. It calls for a 13 millimeter knitting needles or 19 millimeter crochet hook. It's 95% acrylic, 5% polyester. I think the polyester part is the binding here, and then the rest of this is acrylic. It is 3.5 ounces. 38 yards. So this one is called Stellar, but they have 7 other colorways and they all look super cool. I went with this one because, I don't know, I just really like these cool tone blues with the warm oranges and yellows. So I thought what I would do is do a little swatch and just see what it's like to crochet with. I had to get a new hook because I did not already own a USS 19 millimeter crochet hook. This is loops and threads. It's plastic, so this will be interesting. It's quite large, but yeah, let's see what a swatch looks like and see what we think. Here's our yarn without the cover on it. You can see that it comes with just the binding and then the shag comes off of it. So I'm hoping that it'll be easier to see where the stitches are because it's so clear here, and we will see how this goes. The neck looks really short on this hook, so I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about that. I like my elongated necks on my Susan Bates hooks. This is again loops and threads from Michael's. So I'm going to do my slip knot, do my little X shape that I like to do, and let's see how this goes. Okay. So we have the yarn on the hook. I'm just going to start chaining and do 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's look at our chain here and see what that looks like. All right, it might look like a mess in the camera. I can sort of see the places where I will be stitching into the chains. I'm going to chain one more to make it 11. And then hopefully I will crochet single crochet across and have 10 stitches left. So let's see how this goes. So 1. So far, I'm not loving this hook because of the short neck. It's making it hard to slide the yarn. Yeah, and I just kind of feel like I'm getting tangled here. So I'm going to take out this chain and not use this hook. So I'm going to switch to this size P, which is a few steps down from the S, but I think I'll have a little bit better luck with this one. So now we will undo this chain and show you guys. And it's pretty easy. It's not really getting knotted, which I thought it would with all the shag, but it's coming undone fairly nice, and I don't see any fuzzes coming off. So that's awesome. Yay! Okay, so I have 3 different kinds of stitch markers here. This is Boy brand. I think this is loops and threads, and then this is actually one I made myself from a lobster clamp and just a little lotus jewel from Michael's. And I think this one actually might be the easiest to use with this kind of yarn. I think I'll be wrestling with these two, but we'll try it out and see which one works best. So we'll start again with our slip knot. And then I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then in this last chain, I'm going to place a stitch marker Let's make sure that we don't miss that on our way back. So 11, and then we will, yep, I definitely would have passed right over that without a stitch marker. So we're gonna go back, 1, feel around for the second, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see, did we do it? 10. All right, I think we did it. I think we got all 10 single crochets. This is what this side looks like. It's a little bit more shaggy than the other side, but you could probably fluff it out. So now I'll put one of the stitch markers in our last stitch. Let's do this one. Oops. I don't use these often. Oh my goodness. Got it. Okay, so now we will chain 1 and turn. And let's see how our second row of single crochets work out. Sorry, this one's a little loud, isn't it? So we can find our stitch because of our stitch marker. So stitch markers are a must with this yarn, so you can see where you're going. 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so that was definitely way easier because we were single crocheting into an already single crocheted row rather than establishing those rows. So I'm going to take out this one, and honestly I think the other stitch marker got lost in here. So I'm going to say no on these. Not good. I do like these because you can close them, so that might actually be helpful. But honestly, I think you're going to want a bigger one for the bigger textured yarn. So I think this is starting to look pretty cool. I really love that color, so I'm glad that's coming in now. And we will just put another stitch marker in our first one so we can find it when we turn. Chain 1 and turn our work. Find that first stitch. 1. So it's pretty easy once you get your single crochets down. It probably doesn't look very easy, but I'm feeling it with my middle finger and my thumb, and I can find that next stitch to go under. You obviously can't see the V very well, but I think if you feel for it and push that yarn out of the way, it's not so bad. I think this definitely would make a really cool throw, or a really neat pillow, or even just the trimming on a pillow, maybe not even an entire pillow made out of this. I was thinking about using it as a trimming on a garment, which I probably still will. I'm not sure if I will do an entire project made of just this yarn, but you never know. And there's my loud stitch marker again. And where's that last one? All right. Here's what we have so far. It's super soft and it's actually not fuzzy at all. I thought we would have like a bunch of fiber everywhere, but it's sticking together pretty well. I have to say, I think I do like it. Yeah, it's very squishy, very soft. It looks intimidating because of all of what's going on, but I think if you give it a try, you could come up with a few good projects for it. It'll definitely be a really neat accent for other ones. Let's try this stitch marker and see what happens with that one. That might actually work a little bit better. Let's see if it gets lost in there. Chain one, turn our work. Stitch markers right there. So it just seems to be getting a little bit easier the more I do it. So it's one of those things you need a little warm up and then it's not so hard, not so intimidating. And it's coming out pretty cool. I love self-striping yarn, especially when it comes in beautiful colorways. And this is just neat. I've never seen a yarn like this before. Lion Brand's really good at coming out with these specialty yarns, and I know when you see them at the store, you're like, ah, do I really want to do that? I don't know what I would make, or looks like it'd be really hard to use. And that's why I wanted to do this tutorial, because yeah, I just wanted to show everybody that it's not so hard, and yeah, try it out and make some cool stuff. Yeah, at this point, it's much, much easier. I've gotten used to feeling through it with my fingers. I think if you were doing something like in the round, you know, you'll have to definitely utilize stitch markers a little bit more and make sure you're getting the correct count. But hey, I think this is super cool. We still have more colors left in here, but I think it'll be a little while until I get to the next one. So here's our swatch. I think it's super cool. I like that it came out well with this size hook. This was a size P. I'm gonna give this hook a no. It's just too short for me and it doesn't slide well. And yeah, I just don't understand the hook. So I'm gonna go with a no on that one. Susan Bates, awesome hooks. And yeah, I'll do a tutorial on how to make your own stitch markers too, because this was just fun. I think it's a little bit more personable, and this is actually really easy. Usually lobster clamps are hard to open. But anywho, we're talking about the yarn here. Yeah, so I think I really like this yarn. I would recommend trying it for sure. Here's the other side. And yeah, you could barely see the binding. Close it up. I think this is gonna be super cool. Yeah, I really like it.